Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 336. So we just got done doing a crazy experiment at Tiege. We gave away 1,000 free level 1 systems. The way that we did it was through advertising, paid traffic, paid advertising, paid ads on Facebook and everywhere, we could. And today I want to tell you a little bit about why we gave away 1,000 free systems and tell you kind of like the thought process behind it and kind of the strategy behind it as an acquisition game, like kind of thing. Or I should say the game of, acquisitions. The reason why we gave away 1,000 for free was to see kind of what happened, honestly. As we've talked about a bunch, the name of the game at any subscription business is, or any business, is acquisition, right? You gotta get people to try it. Well, with Tiege Hanley, we have always shied away. For a long time, we didn't do any discounts, right? We started, when we started the company, it was like, hey, here's a discount for your first system or your first month, right? And it was effective for us. But then, we decided, let's get rid of the discounts. We don't want to be a discount company, right? Because with the discounting came some unfortunate kind of side effects. The churn. People were knowing that, hey, if I just wait a month or whatever, I can, get a discount on a system and then I cancel my subscription or pause it or whatever, and then I can do it again. There was a lot of abuse around the discounting culture, right? So we stopped it. Simultaneously, we tried to do a better job retaining people, getting our AOV or average order value up, getting the LTV, lifetime value, get that longer and better. And we did an incredible job and really did an amazing job with that. I'm not going to say exactly what our LTV is for a Tiege Hanley customer or lifetime value on average, but it's a few $100s, which is really good, right? And generally they stay for X number of months when they sign up. Well, recently we started discounting again, and we found that the discounting definitely does move the needle in terms of acquisitions. When we first started, the first few years, it was like a hockey stick up, right? We were just starting, we had great momentum, but then things started to flatten out a little bit, and then they actually dropped a little bit when we started to get rid of discounting. But we knew that it was going to happen, but it was worth trying, right? Because we thought, all right, if we get rid of discounting, people that are coming in are more serious about sticking to it. And when you give something away, a lot of times the idea is if you get something for free, it's not really valuable, right? You don't value something that somebody just gives you as much as you do as something that, you pay for. And so, one second. We started discounting again. And what we found is that, yeah, it does affect our retention a little bit. But not to the degree at which it, what am I trying to say? The benefit from discounting in terms of acquisition was better than not discounting. And even though it wasn't anyway, long story short, discounting is effective for moving the needle. But there's another idea, and that we've known for a long time, that a lot of our competition and companies are giving away like your first month for free, right? Or paying $5 for shipping. And it's something that we've talked about. We've talked about internally, we've discussed it. It's like, oh, should we try it? There's other companies that will do like sample packs of like their products. You pay $5, $8 shipping, whatever, and you get little like paquettes of the products and you get to try them. And this is a strategy that they use for acquisition. We looked into the sample size type packaging and option, but to be honest, it's the it wasn't that big of a savings in order to get something in a small quantity, because the quantity of the ingredient in there, the real cost is well, I should say one of the substantial costs is like the packaging, and it's almost like more labor intensive, and the cost isn't really that much different to make a full-size product than it is a sample size. And so we're like, well, let's not do that. It wasn't something that I was really excited about. Kelly has always wanted to give it away and try it just to see what happens. And he was pretty game for the sample size. But we ended up not doing that. We took it off the table because, how much money, how much inventory are you going to basically tie up or capital in these samples? Because that's the thing. Anytime you buy, like if you're to buy 5,000, sample sets, you still got to package them, you still got to ship them. Like the cost wasn't that much of a savings, and you were tying up money. And if it didn't work, it's like, well, then we just gave away a bunch of samples and we didn't really benefit from it. And so recently, fast forward, I should say, to a few weeks ago, we thought, you know what? Let's try something. Let's do something crazy and just see what happens. Let's advertise or give away level 1 Tiege Hanley systems for free to guys. We want to do it in a sample size. We want to make sure that we have some constraints and reins on the people that we actually sell it to. We need to do it in a controlled environment. And so that's what we did. For about a week, we would do it like on a daily basis. Like, all right, let's sell 200, free systems today. We get them, and then it's like, okay, let's do, because we didn't want to go crazy and do more than 1,000. Now, we ended up selling 1,200 because there were about 200 people that were trying to work the system and like scammers that we ended up, it was very labor intensive on our part to get these orders and to actually see what was going on, cross-reference addresses and stuff like that. Because the whole idea was that, you gotta, it's like your first time, right? First time Tiege customers, not like everybody, not people that were trying to buy, or get free systems and then resell them, because we have had people and problems with people that are like, oh, they'll buy it on a discount and then sell it on a different platform, which we don't allow. And they would make like the delta. Say they got something at 30% off, they get the system, they charge maybe a few dollars more, and they're keeping the 30% of what they got it for and what they were selling it for. So anyway, there were 200 people that kind of tried to work the system that we didn't sell it to. I was one of the people that worked the system though, because I saw the ad. I was like, all right, let me actually go through this and see how it works, see what happens, and just kind of see what the experience is like. The idea is that once we sell 1,000, now it's time to sit back and analyze. But we need to give it enough time in order to see what happens. Something that we found that was amazing is that we can acquire customers, the free customers or the giveaway customers really, really affordably, like super low CPA, which is incredible if this works. If it doesn't work, we basically spent, $40,000 to test this theory, because you think about, we gave away $1,030 systems, that's $30,000. Now the truth is that the cost is not $30,000, right? But we got to ship it, we got to package it. It's a regular Tiege Hanley system, and so there is cost associated with that, right? They're not free systems for us. We got to pay for it. And then we also spent money marketing and advertising, and then the staffing that it took in order to go through and sort of analyze everything and make sure that we weren't getting, taken advantage of, which I'm sure a few slipped through the cracks. I was one of them because I did it. But the whole idea now is to test, to see what happens. What happens to these people? What happens to their second order? Do they automatically get the system? Boom, they cancel, or do they keep it going? Or do they try other products? Or do they upgrade to a different level? Like, we've got to test now. And we've often talked about the importance of the data, understanding the data, knowing the numbers, because that is really what's going to tell us whether or not this was an effective strategy or not. Because if we find that if we give away their first system for free, or maybe the next time we test the $5 shipping whole idea, right now we didn't have the technology in place in order to be able to do that. Maybe we find that even if we give somebody the first system for free, they stay for 4 months or 3 months, and we make our money back. So if we do, then, and we find out that this is actually a viable strategy for growth, we have kind of unlocked something amazing. Because then it's just a matter of, all right, let's go. Instead of 1,000, let's open it up and let's figure it out. Now, in order to do that though, we need to make sure that it's worth it. We need to make sure that we're not losing money. We need to make sure that the LTV of these customers that are getting the free box is good and we're making money. But even if we make half as much money, right? Say you make, just easy numbers, $200 on a customer LTV, lifetime value. Say we find out that we can acquire 4 times as many customers, and instead of $200, we'll just say 200. Instead of us LTV making $200, now on average it's $150 or $100 we're making. Think about that, right? You have 1,000 people, you're making $200. So it's $200,000 on those 1,000 people. But if you could sell 4 times that many, or 4,000 people, and you're making $100, right? Now it's what? Do the math. $400,000. $400,000 is much more and better for a business than $200,000, right? But, you know, it's something that we just need to figure out. But if we figure this out, if it works, I mean, it's kind of like off to the races, and we are going to see our growth like just freaking like go crazy because it's easy. Honestly, it was easy and it was affordable to give these things away. You know, it's something that we're trying, something that we're testing. Some of you may have seen the ad. Some of you may have gotten the system. Some of you may have tried to work it. Either way, I'm excited, and I will report back once we have more data whether or not this worked for us. You know, a lot of companies are giving away, you know, their first month. Dollar Shave Club, notorious, right? First box, $5. Shave set. You get your razor, you get 2 blades, you get, you know, some products and their sample sizes. $5. You know, they know that they can convert because once we have people in our systems, now not only are they a customer and they're opted in for the second month to be shipped to them, once they're a part of the company, now we can start our regular like marketing and sales funnel basically to upsell them on, you know, bundles and different email strategies, upsell them to other products and try different things. So maybe we find that it's not only an effective strategy, it's an amazing strategy, but maybe we don't make as much on them because we are giving them the first box for free, but it just all has to do with the numbers and testing things out. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of tell you one of the biggest experiments that we've ever tried. We've tried giving away, you know, 50% off, 30% off, 25%, but we've never given away systems for free. Does it surprise you that it was easy? Of course not. Now we got to see what actually happens because we literally may have just given away like $40,000. But until you test it, until you try, until you analyze the data, you have no idea if it would work, not work, or whatever would happen. Now, let's get to some of your amazing business questions. The first business question, let's try that again. The first business question, The first business I can't even do it. Question comes from our friend Kevin Paredes. He says, "Hey Alpha, love your videos. Currently at my office, we are having employees influence others on the amount that they're getting paid. For example, one employee mentioned to the other employee that they should be getting paid more, but they recently got hired. How do you go about employee culture and when you speak about how much they should be getting paid to each other?" So this is a great question, one unfortunately that I don't have an amazing answer. You know, I think that this is going to be a bigger issue if you've got multiple people performing a similar role or task, right? If you've got a bunch of warehouse workers that are all, you know, doing the same thing, you know, chance of them getting together, you know, and sort of talking a little bit more about what they're getting paid if they're performing the same role or task, I think is probably higher than like a Tiege Hanley. You've got people all over the board. You know, you don't typically have like your CFO talking to your marketing director or, you know, your creative director, like what the different roles actually earn. It's not as common. We also, you know, do a good job taking care of people, and everybody that gets hired, you know, we try to do annual raises every year. And so I think it's about setting expectations when somebody is hired. Like, this is where you are, but the longer you're here, the more you will make because we do value, you know, X, Y, and Z. And so sort of setting the framework ahead of time before people, or when you're bringing people on, will probably help a little, but I think people are people and they are going to discuss it to some degree. But it's a tough question. If you guys that are watching have experience with this, how do you handle it? If you've got employees that do talk and sort of influence other employees in terms of their pay or their salaries, down below, let us know because I think that'd be great. Also, if I didn't mention it, which I didn't already, down below, if you've got a business question, regardless of what it is, ask it. Start it with business question and then ask your question. Each week, we try to get to a few of them. Some weeks I do a better job than others. Some questions are tougher for me because I've never dealt with it. This is a question that I guess I don't think I really have dealt with it that much, but good for you for having employees and taking care of them. But yeah, I would say set the expectations up front, especially if these people are similar roles, and that may help, but it may not. The next business question comes from our friend Heated Pillow. He says, "We're a software development agency from Eastern Europe, and we're looking for expansion into US market. When you look for IT developers for Tiege and other companies, what were the main things that you needed from them? Price, location, other things?" Really looking for this answer. So I don't know. if I'm being completely honest. In terms of, actually, I'm going to call Rob because he handles this kind of stuff. See if he answers his phone. I'm not sure what we looked for in terms of the agency that we used to, when we were looking for Tiege Hanley. We do use an agency for our technology and IT. Hang on, let's call Rob, shall we? He could help. Maybe.
What's up?
All right, question. You are being filmed as we speak. One of the questions is actually about when we hired our IT consulting company or companies to hire in the IT realm, what do we look for in terms of, are you looking for price, location? Like, what did we look for when we were hiring our agency for Tiege?
Our IT agency, did you say?
Yeah, correct.
Well, we need communication is key. I mean, that's the bottom line. So we need people that we can communicate with easily, whether it be time zone, whether language skills, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, skills in the key areas of our tech stack, which means, the software that we're using, they've obviously got to be there. They could be great coders, but if they have never ventured into Shopify and Recharge and other things that are very important to us, then that's a no-go, for example.
Do we look for referrals or how did that work? Do we talk to, other clients or no, not so much?
We've looked for referrals from some of those key platforms like Shopify and Recharge. So in fact, the way we got to work with Recharge was through Shopify, as an example.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, and then bringing in freelancers and other, tech agencies. Yeah, we've definitely, we've talked to, we've gotten referrals and have used them for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. Say hi to the gentleman.
Hey, guys.
Thanks, dude. Later. So that was great. I would never have said that. Communication, though, is a big deal. If you can't communicate, and they need to be, or you need to be experts in the respective field or the area that we use. Makes total sense. The next business, and I got a hard stop here soon because I got to take my little kitten, my cat Piglet, to the vet. She hurt her paw. Got into a fight with Angelo, and she's limping around all gimpy and her paw's swollen. So that sucks. It literally breaks my heart to watch my poor cat suffer like that. Anyway. The next business question comes from our friend Steven Yans. He says, hey, Aaron, I'm not sure if this counts as a business question, but why do people such as Kevin O'Leary see watches as investments? If they buy the watch to keep it and not sell it, technically it's not really an investment. I agree with you 100%. I agree 100%. If you're not planning on selling it, it's not an investment. If you're never going to sell your watches, it's not an investment, I agree. A lot of people, like even myself, I've talked about my watch collection before and the fact that it's gotten crazy and the prices have gone way up. But there are a lot of people that do look at it differently than myself. And I am never going to sell my watches unless I fall in hard times and I'm going to sell them, right? Hopefully at the point that I do, the market's good. But yeah, if you're not going to plan on selling it, it's not really an investment. It's maybe an asset that you own. But, I agree with you. I don't know why they consider it an investment if they're not going to sell it. Now, a lot of people will buy them with the idea that these are investments. I'm going to try and buy it low. When it gets up there, boom, I'm going to sell it. There are a lot of people that do that. Go on the website Chrono24. A lot of those people are in the business of watch, arbitrage. They'll buy it, they'll sell it, they'll make the delta, they hope it goes up, they're good to go. But yes, I agree. I don't know why they consider it an investment. If you watching know the answer, please, down below. Business question, Alpha C has, have you ever thought about doing Tiege Hanley shaving products? The answer is yes, in development. We have a lot of products in development. To be continued. Let's see, what else? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. Gentlemen, if you've got a business question, down below, start with business question and ask it. Next week, we'll try to get to more of yours. Hopefully you enjoyed this vlog. Hopefully you enjoyed me telling you kind of the crazy mindset that we had in terms of giving it away. Let's see what happens. Analyze the data. Gentlemen, it always boils down to analyzing the data. We love you more than our double bunk trap shoes.